What would you do if the two people you trusted most in the world built a secret life behind your back, leaving you to pick up the pieces of their betrayal? For Emily, this wasn't a hypothetical question, it was her reality, a wound that cut deeper than any knife. Her husband, Mark, and her younger sister, Clara, had been her anchors, her confidants, her family. But for years, they had been weaving a web of lies, their affair hidden in stolen glances and late-night texts, while Emily poured her heart into a marriage she believed was sacred. Emily had always been the steady one, the planner, the woman who held things together. At 38, she was a high school literature teacher, known for her warmth and patience. Her life with Mark, a charming real estate agent, seemed picture-perfect. A cozy house in the suburbs, weekend barbecues, and dreams of starting a family. Clara, 5 years younger, was the opposite: wild, impulsive, a freelance artist who floated through life with a carefree smile. Emily adored her sister, even envied her untamed spirit. They'd grown up sharing secrets, braiding each other's hair, and promising to always have each other's backs. How could Emily have known that Clara's charm was a mask for something far darker? The truth unraveled on a rainy October evening. Emily was grading papers at the kitchen table when Mark's phone, left carelessly on the counter, buzzed with a text. She glanced at it, expecting a work message, but the words on the screen froze her blood. "Miss you tonight. Same place tomorrow." The sender? Clara. Emily's heart pounded as she scrolled through months of messages, intimate, playful, damning. Her husband and her sister had been lovers for 3 years, meeting in hotels, sneaking away during family gatherings, laughing at her obliviousness. The betrayal was a physical ache, a weight crushing her chest. She didn't confront them right away. Emily needed time to process, to let the shock give way to clarity. She spent sleepless nights replaying memories, searching for signs she'd missed. The late-night work calls Mark took in the garage, Clara's sudden excuses to skip family dinners, the way they'd exchange looks that Emily had chalked up to familiarity. How could she have been so blind? But anger soon replaced her despair. She wouldn't let them destroy her. She'd face them, but on her terms. Emily planned a dinner, inviting both Mark and Clara to their home. She cooked their favorite meal, lasagna, rich with her grandmother's recipe, her hands trembling as she chopped onions, masking her tears. When they arrived, Mark was his usual charming self, kissing her cheek, while Clara chatted about her latest art project. Emily played along, smiling, pouring wine, her heart a storm of resolve. Midway through dinner, she set her fork down and looked at them both. "I know," she said, her voice steady despite the chaos within. "I know about the affair. 3 years. Every text, every lie." The room went silent. Mark's face drained of color, his fork clattering to the plate. Clara's eyes widened, her lips parting as if to speak, but no words came. Emily continued, her voice rising with controlled fury. "You both betrayed me. My husband, my sister. How could you?" Mark stammered, trying to explain, but his words were hollow. Clara, though, found her voice, and it was laced with defiance. "You don't understand, Emily. We didn't plan this. It just happened. We love each other." The words hit like a slap. Love? Emily's sister, her blood, claimed to love the man who'd vowed to cherish Emily forever. The audacity of it burned. But then came the twist, the unexpected shadow that shifted the story. As Emily sat, grappling with Clara's words, a soft knock came at the door. She hadn't invited anyone else, but curiosity pulled her from the table. Standing on the porch was Sarah, a quiet, unassuming woman from Emily's book club. Sarah's eyes were nervous, her hands clutching a folder. "I'm sorry to interrupt," she said, "but I couldn't stay silent anymore." She handed Emily the folder, her voice trembling. "I saw them together months ago. I didn't know how to tell you, but I kept proof." Inside the folder were photos grainy but unmistakable of Mark and Clara, laughing in a cafe, kissing in a car. But there was more. Bank statements showing Mark had been funneling money to Clara, funds meant for their future, for the family Emily dreamed of. Sarah, a stranger to their drama, had seen what Emily couldn't. Her quiet courage gave Emily a new lens. She wasn't alone in her pain. Someone had cared enough to act. Emily returned to the dining room, the folder in hand. She didn't need to show them the contents. The weight of Sarah's evidence gave her strength. "You don't get to justify this," she told Clara. "And you," she turned to Mark, "you don't get to hide behind love. You stole from Mimi trust, my dreams, my future." Clara tried to interrupt, but Emily raised a hand. "No, you don't get to speak. You've said enough in secret." The confrontation was only the beginning. Emily filed for divorce, her heart breaking, but her resolve unbroken. Mark moved out, pleading for forgiveness, but Emily was done. Clara, meanwhile, expected Mark to choose her, to build the life she'd imagined. But karma, as it often does, had other plans. Mark, stripped of his charm and stability, grew distant. The thrill of their affair faded without Emily's world to anchor him. Clara, used to fleeting passions, found herself alone when Mark moved across the country, chasing a new job and a fresh start. But the real twist came a year later. Emily, now living in a small apartment, had rebuilt her life. She threw herself into teaching, started a community book club, and found solace in writing poetry. One evening, Clara showed up at her door, her face gaunt, her eyes red. "I was wrong," Clara whispered. "I thought I was living, but I was destroying you. I'm so sorry." Emily listened, her heart torn between anger and the love she'd once had for her sister. Clara revealed she'd lost her art career, her reputation tarnished when word of the affair spread in their small town. She was broke, alone, and humbled. Emily didn't forgive her not yet. Forgiveness, she'd learned, wasn't a gift to be given lightly. But she offered Clara a cup of tea, a small gesture of humanity. "You made your choices," Emily said. "Now you live with them, just like I did." Clara nodded, tears falling, and left without another word. In the quiet of her apartment, Emily reflected on the past. She'd lost her marriage, her sister, her sense of safety. But she'd gained something too, resilience, the kind forged in fire. She'd learned that betrayal doesn't define you, it reveals you. And in that revelation, Emily found her strength. She wasn't the naive wife or the trusting sister anymore. She was a woman who'd faced the worst and come out whole. Karma had indeed had the last laugh, not in revenge, but in justice. Clara's world had crumbled under the weight of her choices, while Emily's had grown stronger. The pain still lingered, but so did hope. Emily picked up her pen, her notebook opened to a blank page, and began to write. The words flowed, not of betrayal, but of survival, of a woman who'd learned to trust herself above all. And in that moment, she knew no one could take that from her again.